and welcome to the channel. My name is Steven with 137 Adventures. In today's video, we are getting rid of this stock Airbox that the TRX comes with and replacing it with the Bwoody High Performance 5-inch velocity intake. When you open up the box, the kit includes your standard 5-inch filter or an 8-inch upgradable green filter, your silicone reducing coupler, the intake tube, detailed instructions with your assembly hardware, a hose, and an IAT harness. Oh, and they tossed in a cool t-shirt. Now it's time to remove the factory airbox. We will start by removing the TRX engine cover and disconnecting the negative side of the battery. You can either use a screwdriver or an 8mm ratchet with extension to remove the 10 bolts that hold on the airbox cover. With an 8mm ratchet, loosen the worm gear clamp on the airbox. In order to remove the airbox, we're going to have to completely remove the trim pieces, and located on the support bracket is 5 T30 screws that need to be removed. If you don't have a trim removal kit, a flathead screwdriver works just fine, and at the time of this video, I'm happy to report there was no trim casualties. Once all 16 pieces have been removed, you can pull up on the trim and it'll come right off. Now remove these two bolts. With a 10 and a 12mm ratchet, remove your support bracket. Once the install is complete, you can decide whether or not you want to put this bracket back on. I'm keeping mine off. And that is how you remove your factory airbox. Now we need to disconnect the harness that goes into the IAT sensor. And before completely removing the IAT sensor, I wanted to document how the sensor is orientated in the airbox. And this hose will be replaced with the one that comes in the Bwoody kit. To remove this hose, you're going to need a razor blade and make a small incision on each end of the line, and it should come right off. With the intake tube removed, we can now access the IAT sensor. To remove this can be a little bit tricky. On the sensor, it shows an arrow that indicates a clockwise movement. Taking your time and being as gentle as possible, turn the sensor in a clockwise motion just enough to unlock the sensor from the mount. Then all you need to do is pull straight out. We are now ready to install the Bwoody velocity intake. Grab your coupler and your T-bolt clamps and stick the 4-inch diameter on your throttle body. Ensure that your coupler sits at the 11 o'clock position. Unscrew the bolt on the passenger side of the supercharger. This will get replaced with the hardware that comes with the Bwoody kit. Install the IAT sensor into the Bwoody intake using your offhand to support the backside of the rubber grommet. Once you have the sensor flush and in place in the intake tube, this will be the time to double check to make sure that the blue ball is facing in the direction of airflow. If not, then you could possibly throw a code. Remember the hose that we cut earlier? This will get replaced by the hose that came in the Bwoody kit. Now use WD-40 or any oil-based lubricant that you have and coat the inside of the coupler. It is not recommended to spray down into the coupler as you could cause damage to the throttle body. The best way to seat the intake is from an angle. Then roll the intake in a downward motion to set the bead. It took a few tries to get it down far enough. Now grab the spacer and the extended bolt from the kit and secure the intake to the top of the supercharger. Route your hose and determine the length that you'll need to reach the intake. Reconnect your MAP sensor harness. If you live in a warmer climate area, I recommend adding an IAT MAP harness at checkout. This harness is used to prevent an intake over temperature code that has been reported by customers who reside in warmer areas of the country. Located on the passenger side, we're going to remove this line, which is fairly easy, and that will give us access to the harness that we need to tap into. Go ahead and reconnect the negative side of the battery. Now all that's left is to put the trim back into place, put the filter on, and oh, can't forget the sticker. That's what adds the 25 extra horsepower.
On the website we have two different filters to choose from. You have your standard filter or your upgradable filter. They're both made out of the same material. If I was to put them next to each other, you can kind of see the size difference, which looks to me about 3 inches or so. And some would say those 3 inches matter. However, in this case, size doesn't matter. They're going to perform the same. This one is just eliminating some of the negative space in the engine bay.
Here is a side-by-side comparison of the 5-inch standard filter or the upgradable 8-inch filter. And luckily enough, we did the job correctly. There's no engine codes, the truck's running fine. I've been driving the truck for about a week now, and I've noticed anywhere from 30 to 40 degrees in difference between the ambient air temperature outside and the map sensor temperature. I've also noticed a slight horsepower gain and a massive amount of whine coming from the engine bay.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this install, be sure to hit the comment section down below. Also, if you want to pick yourself up a Bwoody intake, I will have a link in the description for you. And if you want to see this truck out on the trail and doing some gnarly stuff, I have a specific video that you would be interested. Just click right there. Don't know what's going on, but I lost all control from performance pages.
If you too are experiencing this issue, I have a specific video dedicated to fixing this problem.